Light at the other side of divorce, discovering the new you. Hey everyone. Okay, today I have an interview for you with Dr. Elizabeth Cohen. And today we're talking about divorce. And the reason why we're talking about divorce is because Dr. Elizabeth Cohen, Dr. Cohen, has a new book coming out, and I believe it actually launched this week. So go check it out on Amazon. Light at the Other Side of Divorce, Discovering the New You by Dr. Elizabeth Cohen. So I have a huge community of women, of moms, and I think we need to have diverse conversations. This is, in our mind, we still live in a patriarchal society and so much shame and so much guilt and feeling like we're failing because we're doing things differently. And although divorce has been legal for decades, it is still socially unacceptable and also a transformational process and experience. So during our conversation today, Dr. Cohen and I talk about my own divorce experience or separation experience of my oldest son's father. I actually talked on her podcast as well about this in more in depth of my separation. And her podcast is called The Divorce Doctor. And yeah, I probably told stories on her podcast that I've never even told on my own podcast before. So go check that out. And we just talk about the stigma of divorce, how to heal after divorce, how to talk to our children about separation and divorce, and really live from a place of healing and how we can co-parent through that process. So Dr. Cohen is a clinical psychologist. She's the CEO and the founder of the online divorce course and membership Afterglow. She's been featured in many, many places. She also received her PhD in clinical psychology from Boston University. She was the recipient of the prestigious American Psychological Foundation Research. I think I'm saying that right. Research Award for her research on the emotional effects of 9/11. She's been featured on the Tamron Hall Show, Wall Street Journal, NBC News, Women's Health, Huffington Post. All these amazing places. This woman is a frickin' badass. So go check her out. Go buy her book, Light at the Other Side of Divorce, Discovering the New You. Here is Dr. Elizabeth Cohen. All right, Elizabeth, we're here. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be sharing this space with you, Heather.
Before I hit record, of course, we have the general, your book is launching next week.
Yeah.
And that is such an interesting feeling. How's that going for you?
It's tender. That'd be the word I'd use. This book, someone said it, turning your heart into art. This book is for the woman that I was, struggling, unsure, terrified. And I have chills even saying this because it's a very vulnerable book so that I can help people shift and change. And so I feel excited and I feel tender.
I've never heard that, turning your art into heart. And I'm curious, writing it and now having all these interviews, like talking about the book over and over and over again, and knowing that version of you was probably a while ago. Mm-hmm. But, with that, it's like a next level healing.
Yeah, I have to tell you, Heather, writing the book, I had to use a lot of the tools that I teach in that book. Like there was a time when I was sitting in a cafe and I was writing and I felt just this huge burst of grief. And I just cried right there at the cafe. Like I There would be times when I'd have to get up and move my body, rotate my hips, like allow the many emotions to move through me. It's so interesting because in some ways it's is this reflection of how far I've come and that I use the tools that I teach in the book to have such an abundant life. And that pain was so real. Like it's just both. It's the golden and it's powerful to share your truth. And as you know, as being such a truth seeker and sayer in your work too, it's really powerful and scary to speak your truth. And I was so hidden for so many years in my marriage to an addicted person that coming out in this way is very vulnerable because I'm supposed to be the expert, right? We're the therapists. We know how to fix everybody. And here I am saying I was on my hands and knees, begging for someone to stop drinking. So.
All right. So let's get into the book, what it's about, who it's for, what's it called, where can people get it? But what you just said, I think is really important because too often we put people on a pedestal. And I always say to people, there's a reason why people went into therapy, like to become therapists. So when somebody's into mental health or they're obsessed with, unlocking something, or they're the truth teller or the truth seeker,